So we are just less than 24 hours away from the court case involving the remains of the late former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu before it commences in South Africa. As you may be aware, the dates that we have so far are the 3rd and the 4th of July, which is likely to be this coming Wednesday. Yes, this coming Thursday and Friday. So on Thursday and Friday, that court case starts July. And people are weighing in as it builds up. There is one section that is calling for the resolution of this issue outside court. And then there's one section that is also saying that it might as well just proceed and let's wait and see how it plays out. Shifatayari has weighed in and then he shared a note. If you remember when President Hakainde Hichilema was celebrating his birthday, should have been the 2024 birthday. The late President Edgar Shagalungu wrote a note, the one that you see on screen there, where he says, "My dear brother, Washimianda," and then he puts, as you celebrate a new year, another year of life, and then embark on new chapter of your leadership. Pretty much the note that Edgar Shagalungu had written to Hakainde Hichilema as a birthday wish. So Secretary gets that screenshot from that note that Edgar Lungu wrote, and he says this is what he wrote to on Hakainde Hichilema's birthday. But today you want to create a narrative like he hated him with passion. You are just lying, you political vouchers. So Secretary is pushing a narrative to say there was no hate in Edgar Shagalungu, and there was no possibility that he would have left an instruction to say he did not want to see Hakainde Hichilema stand near his body or near his casket after he had passed on. So Secretary says that that's the narrative that's just been pushed by the people that are left, who he calls vouchers, not that those are the words coming from Edgar Shagalungu. Hari Kalava is one person that has also chipped in with regard as we build up, because we are just less than 24 hours before that court case starts. So Hari Kalava chips in to say, please withdraw the court case in Pretoria. So he was appealing to President Hakainde Hichilema to say it would be best for the president to withdraw that court case, and then they can resolve the issue outside court. That's Hari Kalava's advice or appeal to the sitting president Hakainde Hichilema. And then Crystal in the comment section says, still to see that to bring back, to bring the body to the life. So he says, someone in the comment section says that the same appeal that you're sending to Hakainde Hichilema, why not send it to Tasila Lungu and the rest of the family that is in South Africa, for them to allow the body to be retained and not putting those preconditions to say Hakainde Hichilema should not be anywhere near the body. That's a counter sue, and I mean a counter statement. And then Simon also weighs in. Harika has been left behind, daydreaming while the rest of the country is moving forward. So he responded to Harika saying that sentiment of trying to appeal to President Hakainde Hichilema to withdraw through the Attorney General, withdraw the court case. That conversation is gone. The nation has already moved forward. Fred Membe also weighed in, says, stop blaming politicians and stop blaming politicians. The cancellation in the repatriation of Mr. Lungu's mortal remain and breakdown in talks is not caused by any opposition political actors. So Fred Membe was simply saying the opposition is not to be blamed for this impasse between government and the Lungu family with regard to retaining the body of former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. That's just because both sides are not willing to make any changes with regard to where they stand. That's Fred Membe there. What is Cornelius Mweta, Chief Government Spokesperson, will be on SABC just in a couple of hours. As I've told you, this court case is coming up in less than 24 hours. So each side is pretty much building their case, both with the public media and also with their court documents. So according to the Ministry of Information and Media, they say, media alert, kindly note that Honorable Cornelius Mweta, Minister of Information and Media and Chief Government Spokesperson, will be live on South African Broadcasting Corporation, SABC, on at 20-30 hours. Actually, this is about now. So Cornelius Mweta should be on that station. We wait and see what comes out of that statement. So kindly note that Honorable Cornelius Mweta pretty much repeating the same sentiment there. So and then they put up that media alert. And then movie TV had asked to say what topic is slowly fading away without people noticing. And then people in the comment section were like, no, the conversation with regard to the late President Edgar Chagwa is simply dying down from the media and stuff. But I don't think that's the case. The reality is that people, even the Lungu family, has been off the media from the time that that service happened last Wednesday. They've been off the media because they are waiting for them to appear in court. So both sides have been preparing their court documents and court hearing that is coming up in less than 24 hours. So it's not that the conversation has died down. It's just that people are waiting for the main event. That's if the Lungu family and the UPND government has not come to an agreement prior to that, but there are efforts to have that done. And then another person weighs in, and then which was shared by Movie TV, and they said, "Don't move on so fast, folks. Government through Attorney General has up to Thursday to file its arguments as to why Edgar Chagwa burial must be in Zambia." So he said, I don't think people have moved on. It's really, they're just waiting. It's just like less than 4 hours. So any other conversation at this point would just be like preemptive. You might as well just wait and see the outcomes and the arguments that they put out across in court. And from what I understand, these court hearings are going to be with cameras on. So the entire world will be pretty much following the Zambian news in South Africa, though. And then just today, the president had a number of engagements, and then in one of those engagements, he addressed this same issue, President Hakainde Hichilema, with regard to the remains of Edgar Chagwa. And he gave an example of himself. So this is what the head of state had to say earlier on. So President Hakainde Hichilema was I belong not only to my family, but to all Zambians. So President Hakainde Hichilema says he's aware that the day he became president was a day that he belonged to all Zambians and not just his family. President Hakainde Hichilema said, in relation to the current impasse surrounding the death of former President Edgar Chagwa, whose family has refused to have him buried in Zambia, the president reiterated that the Zambian government remained committed to ensuring that Lungu's body is repatriated to his homeland. And as he did not only belong to his family, but the Zambian people. He said this in response to Central Province traditional leaders who revealed that it was their desire to have the late president laid to rest in the country. Your desire is the desire of the majority, and the 60th president is to be buried here in his home in land of birth. So that was President Hakainde Hichilema earlier on saying he also wishes to have the late president buried in Zambia, but because of the impasse that is still prevailing between the Lungu family and government, that's where it is. But in reality is that he would prefer that his body is returned to Zambia. And then he gave an example to say he's also aware that he does not just belong to his family. Same thing applies to the late President Edgar Chagwa. While it's on the other hand, the Patriotic Front, the opposition members of parliament walk out of parliament protesting the constitutional and illegal maneuvers of Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Moti. So the opposition walked out of parliament, and then Kalemba quotes the speaker, say, "Exit quickly, Speaker Nelly Moti." So this was the time when the opposition decided to walk out of parliament, and that's where Kalemba quoted the speaker to have said those words. Let me see if I can find the video. There was a video that was circulating where she was waiting for them actually to exit parliament. So stand by as I just put the video as part of the broadcast.
I'm sure the same way that you are exhibiting disorderly conduct is the same way that you are exhibiting disorderly conduct in your party. Put your house in order.
So that caption was shared with by Mouse Sampa. That video that I played you of the interaction in Parliament when the opposition members of Parliament decided to walk out. So and then the Patriotic Front also shared Speaker National Assembly Nelly Muti speaks as a UPND card according to the Patriotic Front there using the same video. And then they say Nelly Muti at it again, being a toy of the state. That's according to the Patriotic Front caption there. When the members of parliament had walked out of parliament earlier on, saying she's not pretty much serving both sides according to their arguments. What is the mass newspaper says witch hunt begins. Hichilema unleashes cops on Lungu family supporters. So and then they attached the image of Professor Nkandulu. You remember should have been yesterday when she was summoned to appear before the police HQ with regard to the statement that she had issued relating to Daddy Solungu, Edgar Lungu's son, where she was alleging to say he was denied access to fly out of the country to attend the funeral procession that was happening for his late dad, the late president in South Africa. And then when that statement was dispelled, so the police wanted to hear from Nkandulu, but as you may be aware, she lost her child yesterday. So from what the police have said is that she was excused pretty much until the burial process happens, and there will someone later on in the future. But at the moment, nothing happened yesterday. So police gives way for Nkandulu to grieve and postpones the interview. So that's Professor Nkandulu during the funeral process at her house where she was mourning a doctor, child that passed on. So according to Kalemba saying, police in Lusaka have postponed the scheduled interview with former cabinet minister Professor Luon Nkandulu, which was slated to take place yesterday. According to police, the planned interview with Luo was related to an ongoing investigation which is yet to be revealed. However, the swingers are pointing to Luo's remarks on Prime TV that son to former President Edgar Lungu that he was summoned by the Drug Enforcement Commission despite his father's passing. So it's pretty much around that. So the police say they've postponed that and they will announce a new date in future. So these are images when Fred Membe, Gideon Lewin, and other people from the opposition visited the funeral house area on. And then Raphael Nakashinda, the Smart Eagle says Patriotic Front and Tonso Alliance Secretary General Raphael Nakashinda appears before the Lusaka Magistrate Court in one of his many cases for continuation of trial. So Nakashinda is spending most of his time in court. Even I think yesterday we had court sessions, even the time that Luon Nkandulu was appearing before police under that summon. And then Fred Membe says they are now in denial that Bill 7 has fallen. Bill 7 is dead. That's Fred Membe there. Says the conversation with regard to Bill 7 is a non-starter. Obviously, to which UPND Director of Media responded, he says, ignore political comedy. Simue tells Zambians to focus on party with their direction. That's the UPND is referring to there. He says, that's a party with direction. The rest are just comedians. And then the UPND was highlighting to say the highest maize harvest since independence. And then there's an argument to say the numbers are different there. George Mutonga puts up those numbers. Then Chifetayari also says plan B. And he's pretty much saying, I know some bitter people are praying that I come back home, that I can go to jail, so that you can say that, you see, he thought Hakainde Hichilema will forgive him, but Hakainde Hichilema doesn't forgive, and he's a bad heart. But the Hakainde Hichilema I'm seeing these days could just surprise you. So Shupeteri is trying to play some psychology there. He's trying to say, no, in as much as most of the people feel that he's going to be arrested, but he's going to probably be pardoned by President Hakainde Hichilema. I mean, he's free to try his luck. Then he quotes what was said. President Hakainde Hichilema is winning again next year. Those who are arguing, you are arguing, but you don't even know who will beat Hakainde Hichilema. Max Moore, that's the UPND media director there, put up that statement. And then Shifetari captions it, say, hate it or not, this is just the truth. So that's according to Chief Etayari. And then the news diggers says Hakainde Hichilema addresses noisemakers. There is nothing to enjoy in State House. It's hard work there. So President Hakainde Hichilema is attributed to that statement where you're saying there's nothing to look forward to in State House. It's just hard work there. So, and then life expectancy in Zambia has increased from 51 to 67 years. Life expectancy for females is at 69 years, while males is at 64 ZMBC. Slight change there. And then during the same funeral gathering of where the mourning Professor Kandro's child, Felix Mutati met up. I think the lady should be Minister of Justice, if I'm not mistaken, and then Fred Membe there. And then away from politics, they just captioned to say these people away from politics, they mingle and joke. What is the Zambia Daily Mail say? Hakainde Hichilema launches 100 megawatts solar power plant. And then obviously people are remembering the late president Edgar Lungu. That used to be the official photographer after leaving presidency. Should be Andy Junior or something. I've forgotten his other names, but yeah. So the trial will be live in less than 24 hours. Let's wait and see how it plays out. But there is an appeal from both sides to say if the issues or the impasse can be sorted away from the court, that would be better. If not, I mean, we just have to wait for the court to decide. And that's the news, ladies and gentlemen.